Hey YouTube, I'm going to take a couple pot shots with my Condor SS 25 caliber. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this scope is sighted in off camera, and then I will go into some video shooting at 50 yards and 75 yards. I don't know if you can see it. The little two targets is 50 yards, and back there where that stake is up is where my 50 or 75 yard target's going to be. Just to go over what I got here, I have an ATN X-site HD. I have a PCP Tunes regulator set at 150 bar. That is what it comes from the factory. Filled up to 3,000 psi. One thing I have against this PCP Tunes regulator is you have to completely remove it from the tank in order to adjust it. And that is not cool with a guy like me that only has a hand pump, because it took me a couple hours of breathing hard and sweating to get this thing up to 3,000 psi. Once you get it up there, it's not bad. It's not bad going from 2,000 to 3,000 or whatever, but going from an empty tank is terrible. This little light that you see on the end is part of my X-site. It's got a mount right here for the flashlight, for the infrared or night vision flashlight. But I mounted it up there to kind of even out the weight distribution. I didn't want it up here trying to pull to one side or the other. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. We're going to be shooting Predator polymags. I played with these a little last night in the dark, shooting at still targets with night vision, and they shot pretty well. Of course, I wasn't shooting on paper, so I don't know how it stacked up, but we'll see. The only thing I have against these are the tin that they come in. They don't screw on, don't have a screw on lid, it just kind of slides on, slides off. So I ended up using a Crossman Premier tin that actually screws on. That way I don't have to worry about these things spilling out somewhere if I drop them. That is my opinion at surface level. We'll do a little shooting and go from there. All right, this is my 50 yards. On the left is the target that I was playing with sighting it in. On the right is the one I'll be shooting video on. All right, this is the setup at 50 yards. Just got a regular old plain Jane shoot and see target. Then I have a piece of plywood up here that has not been shot. This piece of plywood has been shot with some Hunter Supply slugs. So what I did was I put clear packing tape over it so I can see what the Predator Polymax will do. And then I did put a little peg there at around 60 yards. I didn't mark that one off. I just estimated between the 50 and 75, so I'm just going to say 60. Could be more, could be less. It's probably 65-ish, but we'll go shoot. We got 1% battery on this video recorder here. So the next video you see will be from the ATN X-site.
This part of the video has been edited to shorten the motion sickness effect. because it's continuously recorded through the scope, even as I move the air gun to reload and stuff like that. And boy, it's rough watching it. So I cut it down to individual shots and spared you guys. You're welcome. This is the thing that I have against the ATN X-site the most. This is what the ATN X-site HD looks like when you zoom in. It does not look like that when it's not zoomed in, but zoomed in, it looks terrible. It looks fuzzy. It looks like the picture bleeds or something. They could have done a lot better job with this. I would love to try out one of the new X-site HD 2s, but I'm not going to waste the money on it just in case they did not fix this problem. Yeah, this is it's not bad for what it is. I mean, if you're hunting and you're not going to zoom in and try to see your targets and see the holes that the pellets have made, it's not bad. But for target practice, it's terrible, because this zoom is nasty.
Alright guys, here we are at 50 yards. You can see that it held a pretty tight group, but for all you accuracy buffs, I really don't care about groups in this video, because I have a terribly shaky table, and when I have a better shooting platform and maybe a gun vise, or not a vise, but you know what I'm talking about, the sled. Whenever I get a sled, a good sled, then I'll see how accurate the bullet is. That way we can take out the human element. So you can see I did go through the plywood at 50 yards. Looks like I went through both of them individually. I did not hit it to where it went through both, but it will go through plywood. Now we're at 60 or 65 yards, whatever it is. And oops, sorry about the finger. As you can see, it will go through plywood at 60 or 65 yards. The 75 yard range, you can see that the accuracy diminished a little, but like I said, I'm not worried about accuracy at the moment because of my shaky table. I mean, you can see, I mean, I shot within hand size. If you had to shoot something at that distance, you could. It will go through plywood at 75 yards. However, not all of it. There's a pellet still stuck in the hole. Here's my plank that I taped up with packaging tape just so I could tell if there was a new hole, and it did not go through this one. I had this one behind there, and that's probably what made this bullet stay inside, but it will not go through 2 pieces of plywood at 75 yards. Now keep in mind that is at 150 bar pressure with the PCP Tunes regulator. If someone out there knows the best operating pressure for out to, I don't know, say 100 yards and keeping accuracy, let me know. I'll do the grueling task of hand pumping that tank up from empty, unless someone out there would love to donate me one of those nice electric high pressure pumps. But like, subscribe, share this video with anybody that you know that has a Air Force Condor or is getting into air gunning. I want to try to make new videos from time to time. I do not do this for a living. Nobody pays me, so you may not get one weekly or whatever. But anytime that there is a situation that demands a video, we'll make one. For instance, I have that Condor SS, and there's no videos on how to put the barrel back together after you take it out of the shroud. I know that sounds silly, but it kind of fell apart on me, and I didn't see the order of the O-rings and all that stuff, so I had to figure that out. So I may make a video on that, just so there's one out there, because there is not a YouTube video on that I found. Alright guys, until next time, God bless you. Come to Jesus if you don't know him. If you want to know how, I'll help you out. Have a good night.